Hey everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Wasting Time podcast with Ethan and our good friend Max. How you doing, Max?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. For all the people listening that don't know who Max is, he's from the Mini Heater Show. Link to his podcast in the description and the info bar and whatever. Go check out his podcast. It's pretty good stuff. But we've been talking to doing a collaboration for a while. So what we got planned is just a list of a bunch of movies that we like but other people don't like. Is that it? You're the one that came up with it. You introduced it.
Yeah, and if there's any weird, disjointed parts of the conversation, that's because our internet is breaking apart.
It's my internet. Mine's the worst.
Alright, so should we start with good, bad movies or bad, good movies?
Well, I've only got a list of movies that I like that most people don't, because if I had a list of movies that I hate that people like, it would just be the entirety of our channel. Like every movie that we've reviewed.
It's true.
Because like everything that's come out in the last 2 years I've hated, and everyone's been like, no, Spider-Man Homecoming, best Spider-Man. Derp derp. And I'm like, okay, am I the only sane person left on Earth?
Greatest Spider-Man since Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, so I only included correct. I will admit most of these movies that I've got on my list. There's only like 10 movies on here, and most of them are shit, but I just enjoy them.
Yeah, that's basically what I went by.
Yeah. Well, how about we'll go.
Do you just want to? I've got just a short list of 5 movies that are like considered all-time greats that I hate.
Okay.
So do you just want to comment on these?
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, okay. I've got one that I can think of, so yeah, go for that.
First one I wrote down was Independence Day.
Is that that's not like a critically regarded movie. That's dumb trash.
Yeah, but that's like one that everybody's like, oh, it's the greatest popcorn movie ever made. It's the best, most American alien movie ever.
But I think with Independence Day, there are a lot of people that like you that hate it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I'd say like, yeah, I think the audience reception for that's kind of like 50-50 anyway.
Like it's not dumb enough to be like a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah.
But it's also not smart enough to be a good drama or like a good cheesy drama.
In contrast, have you seen the second one?
No. Is it better?
No, I haven't seen it either. I know my mum saw it and she said it was crap. I'll be honest, I don't trust my mother's opinions on movies, so...
Me either.
You don't trust my mother's opinions on movies? How dare you? Only I'm allowed to say that.
My mother's, but I probably wouldn't trust your mom's opinions either.
Yeah, no, I am interested to see the sequel, because it's like, I just remember from the trailer, Jeff Goldblum's like, oh, that chip's definitely bigger than the last one. Oh, the sequel's much bigger and more badass.
We were gonna go see it, and then, like, at the last second, we were just like, nah, and then we just completely forgot about it forever.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that just kind of, like, came out, capitalized on the first one, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, I forgot that movie existed.
I think there was a teaser for, like, a part 3, too.
I don't think the second one made a whole lot of money, so I doubt that's gonna happen.
Yeah, second one I've got on the list, and it's kind of funny now with all the Hollywood conspiracy stuff going on, is American Beauty.
Is that the one with the horse?
No, it's about Kevin Spacey trying to get with his high school daughter's best friend.
I've heard of that movie, but
looking back, it's really sus. But yeah, it's like the whole movie's super pretentious, and like they praise it as like this great like midlife crisis movie, and it's like super meaningful, but it's at the end of the day it's just Kevin Spacey trying to bang a 17-year-old.
Yeah, that's definitely like worse in retrospect. Yeah, but he is gay. It's a girl, isn't it? So he is gay. He does choose to live as a gay man. So that makes what he did acceptable.
Yeah, I think the funniest movie in retrospect with that whole mess is, have you ever seen The Usual Suspects? Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah. Have you seen the Photoshop where they put, like, Roman Polanski and, like, Harvey Weinstein on the picture with Kevin Spacey?
No.
that was my favorite one that I've seen.
It's like how, like, one of his most famous roles is all along he was this like, horrible crime lord villain in real life.
So, next one on the list.
Forrest Gump.
What? You don't like Gump? That movie's great. Nah,
No,
screw
I
you.
don't.
You're wrong.
Tom, I don't know. Just Tom Hanks doing that voice gets to me.
Jedi.
And like all the references, like he just conveniently ends up in all these historical situations that by the end of it, I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah, it's great. He meets JFK and he says that he needs to poo or something.
I don't remember.
And he's got like a crack whore girlfriend.
I might have liked it more had it not been like hyped up for a decade before I finally watched it. Because like everyone would just constantly tell me to watch the movie and it's the greatest thing they've ever seen.
It'll put you in like a mindset of, oh, this is going to be great, and then you just end up getting disappointed. For example, this is the only movie that I've got that we'll talk at the end of your list is Blade Runner, where everyone was like, oh, you should watch Blade Runner, it's great, and then I watched it, I'm like, it's fine. If anyone ever hypes up a movie to you, ignore them. Just go in thinking that it'll suck, and hopefully you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
I think you should rewatch Forrest Gump, because I've seen it like 10 times, I love that film.
Yeah, I probably should at some point.
It's a very different film to most. It's not got like a general movie structure to it. It's kind of just like this weird nonsense story. I love the bit like it's just like a whole bunch of segments of his life.
Yeah, that was neat. And like the part when he meets his son was really good, but just overall, by the end of it, I was like,
yeah, the ending's so sweet. The bit with the feather and it's wonderful. You're completely wrong on this. You like Pacific Rim 2, but you don't like Forrest Gump.
Pacific Rim 2 was the superior.
You like Blade Runner 2049, but you don't like the first one.
Well, yeah, that's a good segue because I also put Blade Runner on this list.
But you like the second one.
Well, I don't know if I'd say it's a bad movie, but just
no, it's not.
The one time I watched it, I fell asleep like 5 times.
I don't blame you.
It didn't help. It didn't help that I watched the theatrical cut with the terrible.
No, the theatrical cut's the best. Goldfish.
Oh god.
That's our meme.
Coldfish.
That's what my wife used to call me. Why did my wife call me Coldfish? Who knows? Did I have a wife? I don't know.
When the movie's got that many cuts and edits and
it's not a good sign, is it?
Just
The funny thing is, like, every cut that Ridley Scott did, he just kind of made the movie worse.
Yeah.
Like the theatrical cut, like the narration is a good idea because it's going for that kind of like noir-esque cop drama.
Yeah.
And without the narration, it's just a lot of nothing happening.
Yeah.
I guess you're supposed to be like, oh, I wonder what Harrison Ford's thinking, but he just looks bored, so you end up getting bored.
And I like the scene when he pretends to be a reporter and he just puts on like a stereotypical gay voice and he's like, "Hey, I need to interview here." Yeah,
that's good because it's like his character is like a bad actor, and it takes a good actor to portray a bad actor.
That is true.
My favorite scene is where he stares at a computer and tells it to zoom in and enhance for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Enhance 224 to 176. Enhance. Stop.
Dear God.
129. Zoom. Enhance. That's the point where, like, I saw it the first time. I think I was very high when I saw it the first time, and I was like, couldn't really remember what happened. I was sort of like, yeah, there's some nice shots in there, I guess. I really like the best part of that movie is Rutger Hauer.
Yeah,
just his performance is amazing. Every scene he's in, like, if you were asleep, you wake up and you're like, oh, something cool's happening, and then he leaves and it's back to Harrison Ford, like, zoom in, enhance, and you're like, oh,
zoom in, keep zooming,
keep zooming.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's overhyped. But it's got some amazing visual effects. It's got some beautiful music. I love the music.
Yeah, the atmosphere and production design is like perfect.
And Rutger Hauer's great, but no.
Yeah, ending's great.
Everyone says it's way better than it is.
And just overall, it's just
the whole unicorn thing's stupid. I think we talked about this at length in our review, but yeah, no, there's a lot of stupid stuff in that movie.
Yeah, wasn't that like one of his implanted memories was a unicorn?
I don't know, because it's only in like one of the director's cuts. It's not in like the theatrical cut, and apparently it's from another movie that Ridley Scott made, and he just kind of shoved it in there. It's really stupid. I don't know why he did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, is Deckard a replicant? Who cares? Also, it doesn't really matter. And then that's like a huge, like, part of the second one, but they don't go into it enough. And it's obvious, like, that Harrison Ford and the director, like, disagreed on that. This is just me shitting on 2049 now. But...
I will not shit on 2049.
Well, you're wrong, so, you know, your opinion doesn't matter. My opinion is illegal, but yours doesn't matter.
Oh, you got your Blade Runner license?
You got your opinion license?
Pug runner.
Yeah.
I heard someone made a joke with his pet pug. I had to go check it out for myself.
Like Nazi pugs in the rain.
He's walking around Scotland, and there's... I forget, is Scotland known for bagpipes, or is that just Ireland?
No, bagpipes are a Scottish thing.
Okay, so it's just like fog and like atmosphere.
Don't forget about the rain.
Bagpipe music while someone in a trench coat is walking down the street.
Alcohol, violence. Scotland's great. Come to Scotland. There's a video I got to show you. It's like an advert for like holidays to Scotland. It's like, come visit Scotland, and there's this like drunk guy with like missing teeth and stuff. He's like, happy as Larry.
Visit Scotland. Happy as Larry. Could not be happier.
It's like, visit Scotland.
That's great.
I hate my country.
Boy, watch your mouth.
Oh yeah, no, that's illegal.
Yeah.
I'll just have to like censor every single thing I say. It'll just be you talking to like beeps.
Yeah, just that would be pretty great. Hi.
Blade Runner, okay movie. Don't enjoy it. Blade Runner 2049 is terrible, and you're wrong.
How dare you?
Ryan Gosling is autistic and a bad actor.
He is autistic, but he's not a bad actor.
He's good in Drive. I'll give him that. I really love Drive.
You gotta see more of his like indie movies, because they actually have him play characters in a lot of movies. But like Hollywood is just like, hey, autistic guy.
You're good at staring at things and showing no emotion. You're perfect for a movie where a character stares at things and shows no emotion. Blade Runner 2.
At least in Blade Runner, he's a replicant, so it's like factory produced autism.
But then it's like the replicants in the first one don't have autism.
I don't remember him enough.
Like most of the replicants in the first one are more charismatic than Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, but he's sad.
He's sad because he misses his jerk off instructions wife.
Yeah, he doesn't have his hologram GF anymore.
I don't hate 2049, but like I'm shocked that people say it's better than the first one, because like I don't like the first one, but I acknowledge that it's a good movie. But 2049 is just, it's a bad sequel, and I'd say it's more boring than the first Blade Runner, because it doesn't have Rutger Hauer. You need Rutger Hauer. Okay, whatever. This is just like talking to a brick wall. Let's move on. What's next on your list?
My last one of the bad good movies, and the toe tickler himself will probably come after me for saying this. Toe tickler? But yeah, I don't like Pulp Fiction.
What? I've got a Pulp Fiction poster above my bed. I'm looking at it right now. It's on a canvas. It's the scene where John Travolta dances with Uma Thurman. That's a great film.
Now that one I might need to watch again, because I watched that before I understood exactly what Quentin Tarantino is all about.
Yeah, he's a very stylistic filmmaker. He does things generally,
and he likes feet.
Yeah, he's got a weird feet fetish. Yeah, I don't like that about him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna wake up and I'll have no toes.
You'll steal them.
Yeah.
Oh, toe tickler, right? I get it.
Yeah.
No, Pulp Fiction, great movie. I've seen it twice, and I enjoyed it more the second time. Because the first time you're like, oh, what's going on? And then the second time you're like, oh, like, nothing happens.
Yeah, I was just, like, bewildered. And I was like...
Yeah, like, I love the timeline idea where it's like, and then you see John Travolta in this scene, and then you're like, oh wait, so this obviously happened before, and then it ends on this weird note where you're like, you know what happens to one of the characters, but they're kind of hopeful at the end.
Yeah.
And there's some good scenes in there's some good characters. I don't much care for, like, the Bruce Willis part.
Yeah, all that stuff made me sleepy.
Yeah, I like the bit where it's like they get, like, kidnapped or whatever, and then they're tied up with, like, ball gags, and he's about to leave, and then he's just like, nah, I'm just gonna go kill them.
Yeah.
Like, that's great.
The sword.
Or like when he goes back to his apartment and then like John Travolta just opens the door and they just kind of like stare at each other like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like, that's good. But I always preferred Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah,
like, that's just more of a technical marvel to me, because it's like, oh, this whole movie kind of takes place in this warehouse, and it's just interesting with all these characters, and none of them really know each other that well, and you're wondering who the spy is, or the undercover cop is, or whatever.
I think I like his westerns the best, like Django and
Django Unchained is really good.
Have you seen Hateful Eight? Yeah, Hateful Eight's pretty great, especially if you like Django.
Yeah, I didn't love Django. I did enjoy it. I kept saying like I should get around to Hateful Eight, but like I've heard a lot of people that like Quentin Tarantino say it's like his worst film. So it's kinda like,
I heard that a lot.
And it's like 3 hours long or something.
Yeah, the opening, there's like a shot of this. It's like a big wooden crucifix out in the snow, and it just slowly zooms out from it for I think like 3 minutes.
Okay.
With like music playing.
It's like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino should do a Blade Runner movie. I'd watch that.
I'd watch it. I don't know what that would be like.
I like most of Quentin Tarantino's movies. I think people say his worst movie is I think it's Death Proof, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's good. It's about Kurt Russell's in it, and he's got like the ending's really stupid. I just remembered the ending. It's kind of like, oh, okay, well this is dumb, but it's like the first half of the movie is just kind of like him talking to people, and then there's a twist about halfway through, and you're like, oh, I don't want to spoil it. It is good. You should watch it.
Yeah, I had it on my watch list.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it again. Actually, it's been a while since I've seen it. And the one with George Clooney where they kill vampires, that movie's great.
Oh, Dusk Till Dawn.
That's it, yeah.
I didn't see that one, but I think...
Oh, you should.
That was on my Netflix list for a while, and then they took it off.
It's like, is it Robert Rodriguez?
Probably, yeah.
Kind of does those, like it feels like Spy Kids 3. The best Spy Kids.
Oh, God.
Oh, there's one for my list. Hold on. Spy Kids 3.
Spy Kids 3.
my list is terrible.
Are we jumping onto the bad movies now that we like?
Well, is that all the movies that you got for bad?
Yeah, that was all I had.
Yeah, I think the only one I got is Blade Runner. I can't think of anything else right now.
I don't really hate any of those, but like, those are like super hyped movies that I'm just like,
Yeah. I agree with most of your list. American Beauty I haven't seen. I'm shocked that you don't like Forrest Gump. And you should
just don't watch American Beauty.
No, I didn't. I didn't plan on it. But you should definitely rewatch Forrest Gump and Pulp Fiction, because those are good films.
All right, I'll have to do some.
And Reservoir Dogs, I love that movie.
I have that one.
So yeah, movies that we like that people don't like.
Hooray!
Do you want to start? Well, I've got a list for this, so you do one and then I'll do one. How about that?
Yeah, first one is I have recently I've come to the light and I have changed my ways. And I will say that
are you liberal too now, by law?
I will say that the prequels do not deserve the hate.
No, that's the first on my list as well.
Good.
I love those movies. They're amazing.
Yeah, I rewatched all of the Star Wars movies before Last Jedi. And I think I had a better...
Well, yeah, just by comparison between Last Jedi, the prequels are going to look like masterpieces.
Yeah, and I watched them. I watched them in... Well, this was before I saw Last Jedi, so I was like... I was still somewhat hyped for that movie, but...
you liked like Force Awakens and Rogue One, didn't you?
Yeah. So I started watching them in chronological order, and so I get through the prequels, and immediately after I watch Rogue One, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back to the prequels.
Well, the prequels are great.
Like,
that's the thing. Like, I think there was like a weird kind of like up and down with like the fans and the prequels, where it's like they came out and the hardcore fans from the 80s were like, "Oh, George Lucas ruined my childhood." But people like me and Danny, who grew up watching them, loved them. And then I watched like the Plinkett reviews, and I was like, "Oh wait, people don't like these movies?" And then I watched like I think it was The People versus George Lucas. Like, God, people really don't like these movies. And then I watched them again, and because I had everyone's criticisms in my head, I was like, "Oh, these are bad films." And then I just kind of like put them aside as, "Oh no, they're bad." I just enjoyed them because I was a stupid kid.
But now it's like they have so much more vision, and there's just more creativity.
Well, I think it's by comparison with the Disney movies. Like after seeing them, you're like, "Oh, okay." George Lucas is just a misunderstood filmmaker. Where like with the original Star Wars movies,
he has vision,
he didn't have.
But he just
he had vision.
He needs help putting it together, right?
It's sad. It's like George Lucas didn't win an Oscar for the first Star Wars. The first Star Wars movie won like 8 Oscars, but George Lucas didn't win 1 Oscar. He hasn't won an Oscar in his entire career, which is really sad because he deserves one. But like his wife at the time won an Oscar for editing for that film, so that must have been like a huge kick in the balls. So that, I have a theory that that's why he divorced his first wife.
Oh,
He's got really jealous.
Well, obviously the movies took a nosedive because they divorced.
Well, yeah. But the problem with the prequels was that he got 100% control.
Yeah,
and he's got some really good ideas. Like, the story of the prequels is really good, it's just not told the best.
Yeah.
The writing, the dialogue is mostly terrible, but that's what makes it so memeable, and that's the best part of the films.
I like how, like, the Instagram and Facebook communities, like, they've memed the movies so hard that now, like, anytime they make a joke, they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel, and it makes it funnier, because they're just trying so hard.
Have you seen, like, the scene in Revenge of the Sith where Ki-Adi-Mundi's like, but what about the droid attack on the Wookiee? The best one I've seen is they crossed out every letter apart from W and OO, and they flipped the image upside down and put a cow's face on Ki-Adi-Mundi, so it said moo.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, you are really scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah, and then he'll just say random words, and then they'll just Photoshop something onto it. And it's just funny, because it's like, why?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, going back and watching Revenge of the Sith now, every single scene is a meme. Every single line of dialogue is a meme.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, in retrospect, it's just like, you watch them again, and you watch the Disney movies, you watch them again, and you're like, okay, George Lucas had a lot of ideas, he had no one to tell him no, but that was the best thing about them. Because nowadays, it's like, these Star Wars movies, the Disney ones, are just made by a committee. Like, we need more diversity, we need more women!
Even like... Well, maybe not Jar Jar, but like all the prequels characters are more interesting to watch than like...
This is coming from the man that wrote the best Star Wars movie.
Oh, the Jar Jar.
The best Star Wars movie, the Jar Jar, a Star Wars story.
Binks, a Star Wars
movie ever made. Binks, a Star Wars story, yeah. Jar Jar Binks, a Star Wars story. Everybody check out my great animated movie that I made with Max, Jar Jar Binks, a Star Wars story.
It's a real special film. We worked for years developing the ideas.
You do a better English accent than me. Is that supposed to be Ryan Johnson?
We sacrificed sweat and blood. No, that would be like, well, we wanted to make a Jar Jar movie, but we didn't really know what we wanted to do, so we just went ahead and made it. The behind the scenes Last Jedi clips are kind of terrifying.
They're depressing.
Yeah.
Like, did you see the bits with Luke? Sorry, not Luke. With Mark Hamill, where he's just like. He just looks so depressed. Yeah. He's just like, well, it's in my contract, I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, they've got him, like, completely whipped.
It's shocking to me that stuff made it into the behind-the-scenes footage. Because it's so obvious that Mark Hamill hates it.
And they're like, they get that, there's like a wide shot of Mark Hamill sitting in like this cave, and he's just slumped over, and he looks like he wants to die, and Ryan's sitting next to him with the script. I'm thinking it's gonna be called The Last Jedi, because that's you, buddy. Yeah. And it's like, wow, that's great, Ryan. Please, don't sue me.
It's a bit where he's like, and then you throw the lightsaber over your shoulder because you hate the Jedi. Because that's you've always been like that. That's Luke Skywalker.
Wow, Ryan, I'm contractually obliged to say that's a great idea. Thanks.
It's so sad watching them. It's like, that's why I'm looking forward to the Solo movie. Because it's like, this is going to be like such a mess that it might be like prequel level like crap. Like, okay, this is like me and Dan, I think we're gonna do our prequel review before Solo comes out.
Oh yeah, great! You haven't reviewed them yet.
So we'll talk about these at length if you want to hear us talk about them. Comment or whatever. Are you gonna do a review of the prequels at any point?
We might. Toby hates them, so I don't know if he'd be willing to. But our friend Christian, who we're gonna bring onto the show, he loves he loves like everything Star Wars, so we might do something like that.
Is that the one that you told me about? He loves Phantom Menace, like all things Phantom Menace?
No, that was one of my other friends. I don't know if we'll ever have him on.
Have him on the show. I want to hear him talk about Phantom Menace.
He's not as obsessed with Phantom Menace anymore. He obsesses over lots of things.
It would be sad if he was still obsessed with Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
At age like 24 or whatever. No, the prequels, right? Phantom Menace is a good film. It's got like the same kind of structure as A New Hope.
Yeah,
the
like
pod racing scene's really good.
When I was watching it, it really like it still feels kind of magical and like you have
it feels like Star Wars
and
that's stupid. Like I'm not defending that.
Like some of the weird CGI characters, but
Gungans. People hate the Gungans. Gungans are fine.
Yeah, my dog just barged into my room and swung the door open. Yeah.
Good dog.
Okay, she pushed the door open, then came in to see what was going on, and just walked out.
Oh, she's probably like worried about you because you're talking to yourself.
Maybe, or she heard I was talking about the prequels.
Someone mentioned the prequels.
My dogs hate the prequels.
No, I was going to say she's a big fan of Jar Jar Binks.
Probably.
She's come to attack you because you've badmouthed God himself. Like, in comparison, like, Jar Jar Binks is a much better character than, like, Rose from The Last Jedi.
I would rather watch Jar Jar than Rose. And
his dialogue's great.
I hate how much they put her in that movie. And then the final sacrifice. Everyone's about to die.
I remember what you were saying in your 2018 review, where you're like in the behind-the-scenes stuff, Rian Johnson's like, I want to make a character that feels like my friend from college. I don't want her to feel like she's from a Star Wars movie. Like, oh, that's a great mindset to go into when you're making a Star Wars movie. I want a character that doesn't belong in this film or the universe.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
I'm a great filmmaker. Give me an Oscar.
Yep.
I made that movie with Bruce Willis, and it's stupid.
Oh, I like that one. Does that count for this list?
If you want, but I don't like that movie. I've seen it once, I hated it. It was the scene when they're in the cafe and they're like, oh yeah, time travel's confusing, don't think about it. And it's like, why are you making a time travel movie then?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
The movie doesn't make sense when you think about it. So if you have to write in a scene where the actors tell the audience, hey, don't think about it, then that's a bad movie.
It's about family. It doesn't have to make sense.
Oh, that's true, yeah. It's about drug addicts that die.
No, it's about letting go of the past and subverting your expectations.
Oh yeah, that means it's good, because I was expecting the movie to be good, but it wasn't. So that means it was good, because it subverted my expectations.
I don't know, maybe you should have paid to see it a couple more times, so it might have changed your mind.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I would have liked it more when I'd seen it.
And bought Loot Crate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I wish Loot Crate would support us. Sponsor us.
That'd be great.
I wish we'd get sponsored by someone. Phantom Menace is a good film. Revenge of the Sith is a great film. Attack of the Clones is still shit.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones is terrible, but
I will not support Attack of the Clones. It's awful. There's some funny moments in there.
It's better than Last Jedi.
Oh no, everything's better than Last Jedi. The fucking Star Wars Holiday Special is better than The Last Jedi.
That movie especially is like the Attack of the Clones. It's like you have the great ideas there, but they're just harnessed horribly.
Yeah,
like making Anakin and Obi-Wan have to fight in the arena with all the monsters and.
I like that bit, yeah.
The clone army stuff and...
What always annoyed me about that movie, and also Revenge of the Sith, is that none of the clones were, like, actual suits.
Yeah, it's so weird.
They look so weird. And then you see, like, people cosplaying as the clones, and it's like, oh, they're realistic. They don't look right. They should look like CGI monstrosities.
Yeah, it's strange.
Like, I always thought that, like, the Gungans looked... Like, it was bizarre to me that, like, Phantom Menace is the best-looking prequel, but it wasn't until, like, a couple years ago I realized, like, oh... Phantom Menace has the most miniatures of any Star Wars movie, so that's why it looks so good. Like, Naboo looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, the droids look super realistic. Gungans maybe not so much, but there's some really good CG in that. Mm-hmm. Attack of the Clones looks like absolute garbage.
I think Attack of the Clones definitely had better CG, but it's just like I think the world
No. Because Attack of the Clones was pretty much like all CG. That was the problem. With Phantom Menace, they were still kind of using some practical effects here and there.
Okay, I get what you mean, yeah.
It's like like with Attack of the Clones, most of like the sets were just green screens or blue screens. But with Phantom Menace, there was a lot of actual sets. There was a lot of like animatronic aliens. There was loads of miniatures used. Attack of the Clones went full CG, and that's why it looks so bad. Mm-hmm. Revenge of the Sith went full CG, but it doesn't look as bad because the CG is just better.
Yeah, better, yeah.
Yeah, but still, I think my favorite prequel is actually Phantom Menace, just because it's got, like, Revenge of the Sith's great, but like Phantom Menace has that old school Star Wars like structure to it, where like it feels like it kind of has the same pacing of like the first Star Wars movie. Yeah, it rhymes. Luke blew up the Death Star, Anakin blows up the ship with the robots. Hopefully it'll work.
Jar Jar's the key to all of this. Just get Jar Jar to work.
But no, like, Revenge of the Sith, it's got like a great intro, and then people just kind of talk for 40 minutes, and then Anakin turns evil. And it's like, it's a bit weird, but Phantom Menace still has that structure, and that's why I always kind of liked Phantom Menace the most.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, good movies.
Yeah.
Here's my list. My Prequels was the top of my list, but next one is Alien Resurrection. Have you seen that?
Oh, no.
No? Oh, good time.
I've seen Aliens, and Prometheus, and that's it.
Oh, okay. Have you not seen like the AVP movies? Because I got that next on the list.
I did. Yeah, I watched the first one, but it was so long ago I don't remember anything about it. I just remember thinking some of the fights were cool.
Yeah, that's why I like the movie. The fights are cool. Everything else sucks. The characters are terrible and everything, but like seeing the Predator fight the alien is cool. I really hate the second one because it's like the whole thing was filmed.
Yeah, I tried to watch that one. It was too awful.
No, you can't actually see it, so there's no point in trying. It's got a really neat concept with the alien-predator hybrid, but then you can't see it because the whole movie's just pitch black, so it's like it's a waste of time. But the first one's enjoyable. It's a shame that it's a 12 because all the other Alien movies and Predator movies are 18s, but it's fun. There's some good stuff in there. I don't love it, I just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
With Alien Resurrection, it's so bad it's good. Danny didn't think it. He admitted there was a lot of so bad they're good like moments in there, but I don't know. Like you haven't seen like Alien 3?
No, yeah, I heard after Aliens everything goes to shit, so I just didn't watch it.
Alien 3 is incredibly depressing. Danny said it's his favorite, but he's wrong. Alien Resurrection, for me, it was like when I watched them all, I watched Aliens and I was like, oh, this movie's like amazing. And then I watched Alien 3 and I was like, oh, I'm so miserable. It was awful. And then I watched Alien Resurrection and it's like, oh, okay, this is just kind of dumb. And there's some like really funny moments in there. I don't want to spoil it. You should probably watch Alien Resurrection. But you kind of need to watch Alien 3 first. That's a problem.
I feel like one day I'll be in some sort of circumstance where I'll have to watch them.
Well, Alien Covenant, the one that came out last year, that's god-awful.
Yeah, I didn't bother with that one.
Yeah, that movie's just horrible. Which is just because I really like... I guess I could put Prometheus on the list as well, because a lot of people hate that movie, but I think it's great.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I like the atmosphere and the effects and stuff like that.
My favorite thing about it was...
There's a lot of dumb parts.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Like, the script is terrible, but, like, the direction, Ridley Scott's direction, the acting, the performances, the effects and stuff, they're all great.
Yeah.
If the story just made more sense, it would be a much better movie.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, it's a unique Alien movie because it's the only Alien movie that takes place in the Alien universe that doesn't have an alien. It's like, hey, you know that thing that was in the background of, like, one shot in the first film? We're making a whole movie about them, and it's like, okay, this is neat. This is something new. And then Alien Covenant was just like, people don't like Prometheus, let's do Alien again, and then it just sucked.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, don't watch it, it's awful. But yeah, Prometheus, good film. Doesn't deserve all the hate it gets. What's next on your list?
Spider-Man 3.
That's on my list as well, I'll cross that out.
Nice.
Everyone's kind of confused when it comes to the Spider-Man movies in terms of like where they rank the best to worst Spider-Man films.
Yeah, it's all over the place with what I hear people say.
The intelligent people will say that the best Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
The second best Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man 1. And the third best Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Complete and utter words will tell you that Spider-Man Homecoming is the best, but don't listen to them. No, Spider-Man 3 doesn't deserve any of the hate it gets. There's some stupid stuff in there, but it works.
It's like 3 good movies forced together, and it just suffers as a whole. But like it's still pretty good overall.
I remember being super excited for that movie when it came out because I have like this weird history with Spider-Man where like I remember like watching the cartoon show on TV and being like, this is stupid. And then there was one episode, I don't know why I kept watching it, but I'm glad I did, because one episode Venom appeared, but it wasn't Venom, it was like a clone. It was like a Mysterio was like pretending to be Venom, and Spider-Man called him like Slackjaw and Blabbermouth or something, and I was like, who's Blabbermouth? He's cool. And I was looking him up because I thought that was his name. And I couldn't find him, and I was really disappointed, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just have to watch the show until he appears. And then I watched like
Tom Hardy is
Blabbermouth or Slobberjaw or whatever he called him. I'm looking forward to the Slobberjaw movie. But no, I saw the I think it was a 3-part series or 3-part episodes with Venom in it, and I was like, I love this Venom character. And by that point, I'd watched so much Spider-Man that I liked the Spider-Man character. So then I watched the films, and I loved Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Spider-Man 3 was coming out, and I was super excited, and I saw it, and I loved it.
Like all the black suit stuff?
Yeah.
I like the fight in the apartment with Harry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that bit's great. Yeah, Yeah, I'll defend emo Peter as well. Everyone says that sucks, but it doesn't. Because it's funny because
it's
very Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Second one,
yeah,
it makes fun of the second one when he's eating the hot dog and walking around.
Yeah, the raindrops falling on my head montage.
Yeah,
that scene in Spider-Man 2 is great. The scene is like it is very campy, but that's Sam Raimi.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and it works because it's not like Peter becomes cool. This is Peter's interpretation of what being cool is. Yeah. The only scene that I will admit is stupid is the bar scene where he does the dancing and he's flying around and playing the piano and stuff. Cringy. That's way too much. But that one scene does not ruin a whole movie.
Yeah.
Because you've also the Spider-Man 2, I would say, is not only like the best Spider-Man movie, it's also my favorite superhero movie of all time.
I think I love the Spider-Man 2 is definitely better, but I think my favorite is the first Spider-Man.
Yeah, fair enough. I've always found that like Spider-Man 1 didn't age super well. Like it's campy and everything, but it felt kind of dated. Like I remember there's the scene. It is a good scene during like there's this weird party in New York and Green Goblin shows up and like disintegrates people and turns them into ash.
Oh yeah.
Like they turn into skeletons and then melt.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this singer.
Yeah.
And she was like a famous singer at the time, but no one kind of knows who she is anymore. Yeah. But like my favorite part of Spider-Man 1, it's just like it's the smallest thing ever. It's the bit at the end where Green Goblin's about to die. And his glider's about to hit him, time slows down, Peter jumps over it, and there's like 5 different shots of the glider, and every single shot, it rewinds the glider back to where it was, so what would have happened in like 2 seconds, Sam Raimi drags it out into like 10 seconds,
yeah.
And then just before he gets hit, Willem Dafoe looks at the camera, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
It's just that slight comic relief like snippet that just makes that scene more impactful, it's great.
Yeah.
I really love the first Spider-Man, but no, Spider-Man 2's it's got, like, Willem Dafoe does a really good over-the-top Green Goblin. I wish they would cast him as the Joker already, because he is the perfect person to play the Joker.
Oh, Willem Dafoe
yeah.
Joker?
Like, he already looks like him.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. That'd be too scary. That'd be an R rating instantly.
Have you seen that little short movie he did called Smile Man? It's great.
I never saw that.
He gets in it's like a 10-minute thing, but he gets in an accident, and he can't... His face is just permanent smile, and everyone's just terrified by him.
Great.
And then he becomes really depressed, and then he falls in love with a girl who gets in an accident, and she can only frown. It's weird. It's good. It's only like a 10-minute short film, but it's good. No, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock is an amazing villain, because he's so sympathetic.
Yeah.
And you can see why he's going mad, and he loses his wife, and it's beautiful. And the train scene in that is one of the best action scenes in any superhero movie.
Yeah.
But the subway scene in Spider-Man 3 is also great. Not as good, but pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's like when he bashes his face into the speeding train and he just like bursts into the sand.
And the bit where he like melts him at the end, and then Spider-Man's like, good riddance.
Yeah, it's really dark. And
I always hated the design of the black suit in that, because it always just kind of seemed like stupid to me. It's just like, oh, it's just a black version of the suit. It looks like crap. Like, the black suit's, like, iconic because it's got that big-ass white spider symbol on it.
Yeah,
without that...
That would have been better, but I like the look of it.
You like it, do you?
Yeah.
I never really much cared for it. Did you ever watch the Spectacular Spider-Man series?
Yeah, a little bit of it.
That's probably the best Spider-Man show. My favorite part of it was the way they handled the black suit, like, visually. Like, when he first gets it, it's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3, just a black version of the Spider-Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
But the more he uses it, and the more the suit twists him, the spider symbol becomes more warped and starts to wrap around him, and then at the end, it becomes white. And it's like, that's really cool, and you barely notice it because it happens over, like, 4 episodes, very slowly. And I wish they'd done that with the film. Like, Sandman's really good. He's a sympathetic villain. Thomas Hayden Church did a good job.
Topher Grace is pretty bad as Eddie Brock.
I don't think it's Topher Grace's fault. I think that was, like, Sam Raimi... There were rumors that he didn't like the Venom character, but he came out and he said, no, I did like the Venom character. Like, he said, like, no, I did like him. I wanted him to be, like, the complete opposite of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And after reading that, I'm like, okay, yeah, because that's what he did. With Venom, he wasn't... The character Venom, he isn't really supposed to be the opposite of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He wants to be a better Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And he hates Spider-Man, but he's kind of like an anti-hero as well. Like, the Venom character is really interesting. I think it was just the direction they gave Topher Grace, where they're like, you are an evil Spider-Man. And then he's just like, okay, full dickbag mode. But, like, Topher Grace, he's a fine actor. Like, he's really good in, like, that 70s show.
Yeah.
I hate the design of Venom more than I hate like Topher Grace in that film.
Yeah, that design's pretty terrible.
Like the sound design for Venom, like it's iconic. Like he just sounds like a big monster. But in Spider-Man 3, he's like,
yeah, it's just him whining.
yeah, and then he barely puts his face mask on, and when he does, it's like he doesn't have his tongue sticking out. Yeah, he's got like weird goth nails, and
yeah,
I like he's got he's got the Venom symbol, which I'm happy with. But he only gets like 6 minutes of screen time, and it's kind of disappointing. Like I remember when I saw the trailer for it. And the black suit was in the trailer. I was like, oh, that means that Venom's going to be in the next movie.
No.
And then when I saw the film, I was like, wait, why is Venom in this? He's only got there's only like 10 minutes left of the film, and then they killed him, and I was like, what? Like, why?
Yeah, I was hoping like MCU we'd at least have a couple movies where he has the black suit before they like pass it off to Venom, and they're just like Venom sold.
Yeah, but I think it was Sony was like, we want to keep the rights to Venom because we know that he's a beloved character. We want to do something with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if Marvel will do anything with him because he's kind of like this big monster. They've not got the budget for like a Netflix show about Venom.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do like a rated 15 like proper Venom movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued about that Tom Hardy Venom movie. I don't know. It'll probably be total crap, but I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
There's so many interesting things you can do with him, like Venom in like original Venom, he's an alien, and Eddie Brock hates Peter, and he also hates Spider-Man. But then you get like Ultimate Venom, where he's like Eddie was best friends with Spider-Man, and the symbiote was like created by both of their fathers, and then the symbiote turns Eddie crazy. He's not like he doesn't hate Spider-Man. There's like so many different cool things you could do with him. The problem is when you take Spider-Man out of the equation, he just ends up being a big monster.
It'd be interesting to see an Agent Venom movie down the line.
Yeah.
But they'd probably just rush it and just suddenly throw it out there instead of like building up to it.
Well, if it was Sony doing it, then yeah, they would definitely rush it, and they would cram Carnage and all the other symbiotes in there in the first movie to tease like a Venom cinematic universe.
So for now, we'll have Indian Flash as Venom.
Yeah.
Short Indian.
Yeah. Dickbag Flash.
Parker.
Penis Parker. Ugh. I was gonna say, you know that Spider-Verse movie that's coming out?
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
I'll have to see more of it before I'm holding back my judgment.
Well, I'm hoping I want to see Venom in that because I just want to see a good interpretation of Venom on the big screen. I don't know if that Tom Hardy movie is gonna do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm cautiously excited for that Spider-Man movie. But on my list, I've got Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I know you hate. I will defend that movie until the day I die. I love it. Quick review of Amazing Spider-Man 1, though. It sucks.
I don't really have much to say about the first one.
I don't like what they did with the lizard. Like, he talks, and he's not really sympathetic, and it's got the Dark Knight tone, which doesn't fit Spider-Man, and the suit looks like crap, and yeah, it's a bad movie.
Possibly the most offensive thing to me about Amazing Spider-Man 2 was how they were planning to kill off Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided to dress her exactly like how she dies in the comics, which like gets out and leaks everywhere. And then they show there was a Super Bowl trailer where like the ending shot of the trailer is her falling in the web trying to catch her. And I'm like, really?
I will not defend the trailers for Amazing Spider-Man 2 at all. Those were terrible. There was a whole bunch of stuff in the trailers that just wasn't in the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's shocking how much stuff wasn't in that film that was in the trailers. And the trailer, most of the trailers end with him like hitting Rhino, and that's how the film ends. And that's so stupid.
That's the very end.
And also, the end credit scene of Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just a trailer for X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah, that.
But like.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the theater, we're like, is this gonna have an after credit scene? And I was like, yeah, there's some like X-Men are supposed to show up, and then we just like search on our phones what it is, and it's like, it's just an ad for Days of Future Past, and we're like, run! Get out of here.
Because there were so many people like, wait, is Spider-Man going to be in Days of Future Past? And it's like, no, it was just a contract thing with Mark Webb and what's it called or whatever. Everyone blames like Mark Webb for the Amazing Spider-Man movies. He's a good director.
It's Sony.
Yeah, it is Sony. It was too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we got to tease the Sinister Six.
Too many spiders on the web.
Oh yeah. No, have you seen 500 Days of Summer?
No, I haven't.
Good film. It's a very realistic view of relationships and how two people can get together and then fall apart. It's sweet and it's sad, but it's a good film.
A lot of the romance stuff in Amazing Spider-Man was really cheesy.
No, that's the best part of the films. Like Amazing Spider-Man 1, the romance it's fine. Gwen Stacy and Peter have really good chemistry. And it should.
Teen drama. Yeah, but it doesn't feel like it in a good way. It's like something that'd be on CW or...
Yeah, but that's kind of Spider-Man. That's the thing. That's the thing about it. Like, I mean, it's better than Spider-Man Homecoming.
No, I definitely like Homecoming more than Amazing.
No, I'm so disappointed in you, Max.
You're gonna take my toes?
No, you're my buddy, Max. You're my friend. I won't betray you, Max. I'm sorry I forgot your name. Don't kill everyone. Electro's amazing.
What's this about me? What's this about me killing people?
No, it's Max from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Do you like that Spider-Man? I like it a lot, Max.
Wait, Electro.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx's finest role.
I had no clue what you were talking about.
No. Remember, Spider-Man forgets Max's name, so then he turns into a giant supervillain and tries to kill everyone.
Yeah.
No, God. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is both parts so bad it's good and genuinely good. There are so many elements to that movie that are just so stupid they're hilarious. I actually watched it the other week and I love it just as much. Like, everything with Electro is just so bad, it's hilarious. Like he's supposed to be sympathetic.
Green Goblin.
Yeah, like a crack, like meth addict Green Goblin.
Yeah.
But like I like how they handled the Rhino, where he's just kind of like he's not a main. Like I think they handled it better than like Spider-Man 3, where there's 3 villains and they're all kind of competing for screen time, and then Venom's not there.
Yeah, and they all get equal. Yeah.
But then Rhino, it's like he doesn't die like Venom does at the end of Spider-Man 3. He's just kind of there teasing that he will be in more, but then they never made more. Mm-hmm. But the best
Sinister Six.
Yeah, I wish they'd
still happen.
I hope they do. I'd love to see a Sinister Six movie.
I like how even in Homecoming, there's still just like, we're gonna do Sinister Six. Trust us.
I want them to do more Amazing Spider-Man stuff. That's the sad thing
about the Sinister Six. Like they're still building up to it after like canning their last franchise, trying to build up the Sinister Six.
Well, there was rumors that they were going to do it anyway, and it was going to take place in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. And I was like, originally I was like, oh, that's stupid. And now I'm like, yeah, I hate Spider-Man Homecoming. I want more Amazing Spider-Man.
I'll wait till Tom Holland gets rid of the Iron Man rip-off suit. Like I think it'll get better when they...
That suit in Infinity War looks like absolute crap. I don't know why they just didn't do the Iron Spider suit from the comics. That could have looked really good.
It's shiny and it's the normal suit, but it's also got gold highlights on it.
Yeah, it's so stupid looking.
And it looks metal.
They probably already sold Iron Spider-Man suit toys, so they want to sell new toys. So they made a new design that looks like crap.
Mm-hmm.
But argue me on this point, Amazing Spider-Man 2 looks amazing.
Yeah, like the web swinging stuff was really good, and
Rhino looks great. Electro maybe not so much, but like
I really don't remember a lot of the scenes, but like I just remember being really impressed by the opening when he's swinging around. And
like the first scene where you see him swinging around and you see. Oh, so Homecoming looks like crap.
Visually, Homecoming looks awful.
Yeah, like Spider-Man. It doesn't even look real.
Yeah,
and it's like it's amazing to me how good Amazing Spider-Man 2 looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was so many scenes where I was like, oh, that's actually like a suit, but no, that's CG. But they just did it really well. Like that intro bit where he's falling down from the sky, and
kids can't tell the difference. Looks good enough,
but they can tell the difference.
yeah, but they don't care. They get to buy the toys.
This is why when I was a kid, I was like, why does Attack of the Clones look so bad? But yeah, I love Amazing Spider-Man 2. I could talk about it for an hour, but we got more movies, so agree to disagree. Comment below what you think of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh.
What's next on your list?
I wrote Age of Ultron.
No, that's a bad movie.
People always put that as like one of the worst Yeah, but in terms of like the MCU, do you think that's one of the worst ones?
No, but it's not one of the good ones. It stands in the middle of just being bad. Bear in mind that I think most Marvel movies are bad.
I like it. It's definitely cheesy and it's got a lot of stupid stuff.
Well, that was the biggest problem that most people had with it, where the trailers made it look like it was supposed to be the Empire Strikes Back or the Avengers movies, where it was dark and brooding and they had a serious villain for once.
Yeah,
Ultron's just goofy and stupid and everyone's making jokes.
I like the anti-Stark thing where it's like Tony's like his dad. And
yeah, that was neat.
like him.
but overall, it's just kind of like the Avengers fight some robots for 2 hours. Like, the first Avengers was like, it was new, it was epic, that, you know, it's the first time we've seen all these characters come together. We knew them from all these separate movies. In Age of Ultron, it introduced 2 new characters, killed off one of them, and then didn't really do anything else.
But did you see it coming?
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, they're really not marketing Quicksilver very well. They'll probably kill him off.
That was just a joke, because he's like, did you not see that coming?
See, I remember being in the cinema with my friends, and they're like, oh no, Quicksilver died. And I was like, 1, I knew that was going to happen, and 2, who cares? Like, whatever, he hasn't done anything.
I like how they just did that because X-Men has their Quicksilver.
They were just like, we don't need him. And now they own Fox, so it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
I'm worried what Marvel's going to do to the X-Men.
Yeah, I know. Like, I wonder if they'll keep the people in charge at Fox and just let them run it with like their rules, or if they'll just have their people do it.
I think they'll let them finish what they had planned, and then they'll try and integrate them to the MCU.
Taika Waititi's X-Men?
Oh god, no. No, they're definitely worse. Like, Spider-Man Homecoming's much worse. The first Hulk movie is much worse. Thor Ragnarok, Thor the Dark World, much worse.
Yeah, I'd agree with all those.
But Age of Ultron's just like, it was disappointing. I don't know why I had expectations for it at the time, but I just kind of did expect it to be better. I don't hate it, it's okay. Danny says it's his favorite. He says he likes it more than the first one because he says it's so bad it's good. I don't understand that, but
I don't think it ever gets so bad it's good.
Yeah.
It's just...
yeah, whatever. It's fine.
What's your next bad movie?
Oh, Ang Lee's Hulk.
Ooh.
That movie's complete crap. It's so weird.
Aren't there moments where they do comic panels with camera
it's the only comic book movie I've seen where they try to do like comic panels, and some of them are so stupid they don't work, but some of them are really good. And then it's like cool because like his dad's a monster and he was abusive, and it's all about like him getting over his abusive father and fighting back and stuff. And then there's a cool scene where he fights like a 3-headed dog.
Yeah, I remember watching that as a kid and just being so absolutely bewildered.
Me too. I hated it as a kid. But like me and Danny were reviewing it on... we were talking about it when we did our Thor Ragnarok review. And I was like, I haven't seen that movie in years. And I watched it again. And I was genuinely surprised how good it is. Like
wasn't that like the biggest version of Hulk too? Like, isn't the MCU one like way smaller?
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite things about that is that, like, in every other movie with the Hulk in it, he gets big and that's it. But in this one, he gets bigger the angrier he gets, and that's from the comics, and that's really cool.
Oh.
So there's some scenes where there was a scene where he gets like glued to a wall with like cotton candy or like bubble gum or something. I can't remember. And then
yeah, I remember.
He just gets bigger and then breaks it. And also the CGI is pretty good
for the time.
It's weird, and Hulk looks weird, but like he looks better than he did in like the first Hulk movie. I wouldn't say he's better than he is in like the Avengers, but yeah. No, Ang Lee's Hulk, weird movie, dumb movie, but entertaining. And it's got some.
I don't think I ever want to expose myself to that again.
No, I would recommend watching it again because like it's not a movie for kids. That's the problem with it, but. It's bizarre. It's an interesting watch, put it that way. What's next on your list?
You might kill me for this one. I actually like Avatar.
Avatar?
Not one I would watch very often.
I don't hate Avatar. I don't like Avatar.
Because like now they keep like damning it as like this terrible, horrible movie, and it didn't deserve its earnings. But I think
it's Pocahontas with Smurfs.
Yeah, but I mean, like, on a technical level and just the scale of things and the...
Avatar is this weird thing where it's the most successful movie ever made, but it's made absolutely no cultural impact whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, no one's like, oh, I love Avatar, can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah,
Everyone's
you don't
like...
see people walking around in Avatar t-shirts.
But yeah, that movie made like $2.7 billion. And I think one of the main reasons for it is Avatar, not a good movie. Not a great movie, I wouldn't say it's bad. A technical marvel. It's a tech demo. That's all it is. It's like, hey, look, this is what CG should be, but every movie doesn't do this for some reason.
And we still have James Cameron's Avatar saga looming in the distance.
And they made it in 3D so that they could charge more for tickets.
Yeah.
It was a good business decision, but it's not a great film.
It was.
James Cameron's like, he's confirmed like Avatar, like up to Avatar 7, and it's like, geez, man, no one cared for the first movie.
Yeah.
He keeps saying, oh, I'm gonna make it, Avatar 2's coming. Like, who cares?
I keep telling Toby he's gonna like get really old, but he's gonna like he's gonna revolutionize medical science because he's gonna turn himself into a cyborg so he can complete the Avatar films before he dies.
He's gonna live forever so he can make all 7 Avatar movies.
Yeah.
We get a new Avatar movie every 15 years.
And then he's gonna have like some sort of epic battle with who directed Wonder Woman? Oh, Patty Jenkins. Because like they had that. Did you hear about their argument?
No.
Like he was calling out Wonder Woman because he said it's not like there's nothing about it that's like actually feminist or like there's no actual morals or value in Wonder Woman.
He's right, but that's why I don't hate Wonder Woman that much, because there's not like obnoxious feminism in it. I'm gutted that James Cameron is a feminist.
Like it's not at all what people are praising it for.
Yeah.
It's just a dumb action movie. So he calls it out on that, and so like she kept saying, like she said he couldn't understand it because he's a man, which is sexist to say.
Well, no, because he's a man. If he was a woman, then it would be sexist.
In the year 2082, Avatar 8 will be almost done filming. And then Cyborg Patty Jenkins.
Cyborg Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, she'll try to raid the studio, but Cyborg Camtron will be there to fight her.
Camtron. Yeah, maybe James Cameron will just become transgender, and then his opinions will be valid.
Maybe. I mean, he could do that too.
Next on my list, Batman and Robin.
I had that one too, because we were talking about it on the Discord. I think that was the first superhero movie I ever saw.
Really? Oh, that's not a good start.
So.
I remember watching...
It explains a lot.
Yeah, it does. That's why you like Age of Ultron. I remember watching the first 2 Batman movies and being like, these are dark and weird, but, you know, they're okay.
Mm-hmm. And
then I saw Batman Forever, and I really enjoyed it because I like the Robin character. I've always loved Robin. I've always been annoyed by how badly everyone handles Robin.
I rented Batman Forever and I watched it like 4 times in one weekend.
That's a good weekend.
As a kid, but I don't remember anything about it because I haven't like watched it since.
Tommy Lee Jones plays Two-Face. Well, he wears Two-Face makeup and he plays the Joker.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey plays dresses as the Riddler and plays the Joker. They team up and they fight Batman, and then Batman, Val Kilmer, learns he needs to team up with Robin. And then they expose their nipples to everyone, and it's weird and awkward.
Do people like Batman Forever?
I think, like, Batman Forever is at this weird spot where it's like, it's not as stupid, over the top, and hilariously bad as Batman and Robin, but it's not as good as the original 2.
Yeah, people hate that one so much. I never hear any hate for Batman Forever.
Yeah, I think Batman and Robin was so bizarre, like it overshadowed Batman Forever. But like, I think, do you know Kevin Smith, the director, like Clerks, and does a podcast, Fat Man on Batman?
Yeah,
he came out saying that like when he first saw Batman Forever, he was like in awe because it was the most comic accurate Batman interpretation that he'd seen so far. And sadly that's true.
Yeah.
He was like getting all excited where it's like, oh look, Arkham Asylum, and hey look, Vicky Vales and all these characters, oh, and Robin's there, and it's like, yeah, it's true. It's like, it's so Batman, but it's not to the point where like Batman and Robin is just so weird. It's like weird, like neon lights, and the nipples are exposed. Yeah, and Patrick Schwarzenegger, that's his son. Arnold Schwarzenegger's just making like ice puns the whole time.
Ice to meet you.
The pun I never understood. We were talking about it in this Discord. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. That's not even true. It was a meteor. What are you talking about? But yeah, like, I think every other line of dialogue Arnold Schwarzenegger has in that movie is a pun, an ice pun, and it's great.
It's so weird just seeing him, like, shaved and, like, all glittery.
Yeah, he's sort of, like, glitter all over his face. I love the bit where he's in his cave, and all his minions are, like, freezing, and he's like, come on, sing! Sing!
Yeah, and there's like they rob that museum, and the henchmen are like on ice skates and have hockey sticks, and they're fighting Batman and Robin, and then Batman and Robin have like
they have ice skates in their shoes,
their heels, and
and then there's that weird scene where they're bidding over poison ivy. And Batman's like, you don't have any money, and Robin's like, I'll borrow it from you. And then he brings out the Bat credit card. Never leave the cave without it. Just this like Bruce Wayne on it. Where do you got all this money, Batman?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Bane is in it, and he only says the lines Bane.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that.
Yeah. Whatever, it's Bane.
and then Dark Knight Rises, they like decide to make his origin in like the Middle East instead of like a Mexican.
And he wears the mask because it's to stop him feeling pain or something vague.
Yeah,
but at least, like it's more comic accurate. The Batman and Robin one where he's got the toxin or the venom or whatever, and it makes him big and buff. And
yeah.
It's a bizarre movie. I like the bit at the end where like Batgirl shows up and they, for whatever reason, change into their weird silver outfit so they could sell more toys.
But speaking of Bane,
yeah, I really like the Tom Hardy Bane. It was really good.
Yeah, I'd prefer like the comic accurate though next time.
Yeah. Well, you watch Batman and Robin then. Bane's famous for saying Bane. What's next on your list?
Battleship.
Oh, really? That movie's garbage.
Everything about that movie, just like, it should not exist.
No.
For one thing. It like hits all these terrible action cliches. There's nothing likable about it. It like takes assets from Transformers, like the CGI and the sound effects. It's so terrible. I admire its existence.
Yeah, it's a movie based on a board game. It's bizarre that it exists.
I forced Toby to watch it like 2 years ago, and he's still mad at me about it. Yeah,
I would be too. I've never seen it. I've seen bits of it, and I know that it's garbage.
There's a part in like this EMP goes off, and it disables all their ships, and they're like, we have to fight these alien battleships somehow, and they get this old World War II vessel, and there's just conveniently all these veterans that are still around. Where like this whole battle's happening, so they get them all on the boat, and it starts playing AC/DC, and
cool.
it's this whole montage of them like cleaning up the boat and like revving everything up and loading the cannons.
What's Rihanna like in that movie? Is she good?
I don't even remember.
Okay, fair enough. It sounds like more entertaining than the Transformers movies.
Yeah, I think it's better than Transformers because it doesn't have any like the cringy, like weird adult humor.
I remember it came out. There was a huge marketing push for it when it came out, and it even had like a really bad video game based on it, and there was like posters for it everywhere on buses and stuff, and just no one cared. Like, no one wanted to go and see Battleship or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the theater. I like rented it when it came out on Blu-ray.
Isn't Liam Neeson in that film?
Yeah, he's in it just a little bit though.
Fair enough. I'll maybe check it out. It sounds weird and stupid.
I think you might like it.
Okay.
Just that part with like them dusting off the old battleship, and it just starts playing like Thunderstruck or something.
Yeah, that sounds weird. Next on my list, I'm interested to hear what you think of this one. X-Men Origins Wolverine. The best X-Men movie.
I had that too.
Oh, you have that too?
Yeah.
I love that film.
That's like thoroughly entertaining.
It is, from start to finish.
Stupid.
It's so stupid. But there's constantly new mutants being like introduced, and like Deadpool's in it, and they just handle them like really badly. But also like I really like the Barakapool design because it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
There's this monster with like swords coming out of his hands, and he shoots lasers and teleports.
Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around how they like decided.
Yeah. Hey, let's take this character that everyone likes for being witty and swearing, and sew his mouth shut, and make him a weird monster man that shoots lasers from his eyes. But then like the Blob's there, and like the reason they fight is because he thinks that like Wolverine calls him Bub, and he thinks he calls him Blob.
Yeah.
And Will.i.am's there, and he's like just awful. He's like, we hunted our own kind, Logan. Oh yeah, and then CGI Patrick Stewart shows up at the end.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also like they had Emma Frost, but then she was in First Class.
Yeah,
and like people were asking about it, and they're like, well, it's a different Emma Frost. It's not the same.
Yeah, the X-Men movies just have no continuity. It's just like, whatever. Trink, what's his name? Tinkerer or whatever. I can't remember.
Who?
Peter Dinklage from Days of Future Past. He's just a black guy in like X-Men 3, and it's like, okay, these movies have no continuity.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But no, like X-Men, like the best part.
Every X-Men movie is a soft reboot of the last.
Every X-Men movie just takes place in its own universe, and that's fine. I'd prefer that, where it's like, okay, we can just focus on making this one good. But most of them suck.
It's such an interesting franchise.
It is, yeah. But like X-Men Origins Wolverine is just my favorite because of how bad it is.
It's not my favorite by any means, but I love that
I don't
movie.
care for any of the other X-Men movies really. Like I like them. I liked the first two when I was a kid, but like whatever. Like Days of Future Past is good, I guess. Apocalypse is terrible. Logan's bad.
I had Apocalypse on my list actually.
Oh really?
Because it's just like there's suddenly this giant pyramid and
okay.
Oscar Isaac's just rambling.
I couldn't get through that movie. I should watch it again with the mindset that it's so bad it's good. Because I got to the point where Michael Fassbender's like tucking his kid into bed, and he's like, "Oh, I love you so much, my daughter. Oh, I'd be so sad if you were to die horrifically."
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I can see what's coming a mile away here. This movie's so stupid.
That was like Fox's Scarlet Witch, so they just like killed her off. Cause like, well, Marvel did that with their character. We'll just play fair and do that to our Scarlet Witch.
So they've got Quicksilver, and Marvel has Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
And it's also like it's set 10 years after Days of Future Past, but like they're at the point where like they're at the point age where like you can't do that realistically. Like you would be able to tell how much they've aged.
Yeah, because what's his face? Scottish guy. He's in Romeo and Juliet. He's your profile picture on Discord.
Oh, James McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
Yeah,
like he goes bald, and that's like a big reveal, and it's because something happens, and he loses all his hair, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, he's on like this Egyptian tablet that drains his life force, and so it just makes him lose his hair.
You know what? It genuinely is a good bit in that movie is when Quicksilver fights Apocalypse, and he's just like pummeling the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then Apocalypse just like breaks his leg.
Yeah.
It's like that's really cool. I did see I watched up to like 20 minutes where Michael Fassbender's with his kid, then I gave up. But I have seen the Quicksilver scene with the mansion, which isn't as good as the first one, but is pretty good. And I saw the ending scene where they all kind of fight Apocalypse.
You're talking about when he saves everyone in the mansion?
Yeah, that's a good scene.
Yeah, with Sweet Dreams playing, yeah.
The best part of X-Men Origins Wolverine is the intro scene with him and Sabretooth, where they're like fighting in every war.
History.
And like I really like the idea that like Sabretooth is his brother, because it gives them more like they have a relationship other than just being Sabretooth is a monster man that doesn't say anything and he's just a big lion.
I love a movie like that where it's just them through all the wars.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. Just like these two immortal men, just their life.
Yeah.
Like that's why it always annoyed me in Logan, where it was like the villain was just a clone Wolverine. Why not bring in Sabretooth?
Yeah. That would have been better.
For like the last X-Men movie, why not bring in like his arch enemy, and at this point it's his brother, so whatever. I guess they wanted to distance themselves from X-Men Origins Wolverine, even though it's the best X-Men movie. Yeah, I should watch Apocalypse though.
There's the part when they like raid the compound for the adamantium. And like the one guy is like super good with guns, so he just runs and then he like jumps into the air and does a backflip on a wire and just flies over the gate, and then he catches his guns and then just shoots everybody, and it's like, what?
I saw the Wolverine scene, which is just kind of weird because there's like there's a little bit of violence but not a whole lot, and it's cool seeing him wear that like laser thing he has on his head because that's like from the comics and stuff. I should really watch Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's like it's almost 3 hours long. It's just this ongoing mess, but it's like...
That was one of the reasons I gave up, yeah. It's like, oh, I can't sit through this whole thing.
Yeah, it's entertaining pretty much all the way through.
Oscar Isaac's terrible in it.
Yeah, I don't understand Apocalypse at all. Yeah.
What's next on your list? I've only got like 2 movies left.
My last one, I put Transformers 3. Which is like the only Transformers movie that's watchable to me for some reason.
The first one's genuinely an okay movie.
We rewatched them all leading up to last night.
Why?
I just three was like the well.
Why would you punish yourself?
we had to. Three like it goes on way too long, but I like enjoyed it more than the other ones because it made me cringe the least out of all of them.
I've seen the first one. And I thought it was okay. And then the second one was just so bad, I'm like, nah, this franchise is stupid, I'm done.
Oh, so you never saw 3?
I never saw 3, and I never saw 4, and I never saw 5.
3?
Danny went to go and see 5 alone because I refused to go with him, and then he reviewed the movie alone. We talk about that in our review. But
5 should be considered a mortal sin.
Yeah, I've heard it's terrible. But also Dan said it's his favorite because of how bad it is.
It's possibly the worst movie I've ever seen in a theater.
I'm happy I didn't see it then. Although Dan did say it's worse than... No, he says he thought Pacific Rim 2 was worse than last night.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
Fair enough. I think they're both bad.
Transformers 5 is just like, it's just constantly, like, there's all these characters that are in the background that, like, they're obviously just there for toys, but then they don't even try to make them part of the plot or explain what they are or anything, and all the characters you want to see doing cool stuff are just, they're not there, and they're just wasted. Anthony Hopkins is the only good part, because he just knows it's all horrible.
I've heard he puts in, like, a good performance for some reason.
Yeah, it's hysterical. Yeah. And he's got this little robot butler, like that's like a angry C-3PO ripoff.
That sounds great.
Yeah, there's a part in there like the robot's driving the sports car, and Anthony Hopkins is in the passenger seat, and he's just like, "Drive, Cogman, drive."
That sounds so stupid. I've heard there's like a transformer that like robs banks, which is stupid because he doesn't need money. Because he's a transformer.
Look up like a highlight of just all the Anthony Hopkins parts, and then his death, he just gets blasted point blank by Megatron's cannon. And then he flies into the air really humorously.
But you say the third one's your favorite.
I think that one's the best, honestly. But it's not a movie I'm gonna like pop in and watch when I'm bored. Yeah. But I thought I'd put it on the list because like all the Transformers are famous now for just being terrible.
There's one thing that I do find funny that I've seen from Transformers 3 is the bit at the end where, like, I think it's Megatron's on the ground and he's like, "No, Optimus, no!" And then he just shoots him in the face.
No, Optimus!
Yeah,
like that's hilarious. It's like it's so violent because there's oil going everywhere and stuff. And it's like
for his
life. And he just kills him in cold blood.
No, at the end of the day, our allies have defeated the evil once again.
Would you recommend I watch Transformers 3?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
If you gave up after 2, just don't waste your time.
Okay, fair enough. I'll just go through because I got like 3 left that are just quick mentions. Noah.
Noah. Is that the one when they got in trouble for like whitewashing?
Oh, did it? Emma Watson's in that movie, and like we were watching it at Christmas. I was watching it with a bunch of Christians that were so offended by it.
Ark?
Yeah, Noah's Ark.
Oh.
I was watching it with Christians that were offended by it, and I just thought it was so funny. There's like rock monster demons help them build the Ark, and then fight off like an army of people that are trying to kill them. And then Noah goes crazy and tries to kill his daughter's like infant son on the boat. And then the villain like sneaks onto the boat and tries to kill Noah and tricks his son into like turning against him. It's just bizarre, man. It's like it's not accurate to the Bible at all, and Christians hated it, and everybody else hated it, but it's this bizarre movie that's like, it's funny.
Is there a part when like walls of water like raise up?
I think so, yeah.
And there's like some giant battle. I just remember seeing the commercials for it and being like, what?
I don't know why they made it, because as I said, like it's not accurate to the Bible. It wasn't made by Christians. It was cashing in on the Christian like market.
Yeah.
But then the Christians hated it because it was so inaccurate to the movie, to the Bible. Sorry. And it's bizarre.
It was based on the comics.
Yeah, the Bible comics. Quickly, Spy Kids 3, best of the Spy Kids movies.
He's the dude.
Yeah, he's the guy, man.
Or the guy, not the dude.
He's got that relationship.
Hey, man.
I genuinely had like a massive crush on that girl, the girl that turned out to be a robot, and I was heartbroken when it turned out that she wasn't real.
Oh, wasn't she like a hologram or something?
Yeah, she existed inside the video game, so Junie never got to bang her, which always upset me. But no, it's a good time. Spy Kids 3. Spy Kids 4, not so good.
Never saw that one, thankfully.
Gods of Egypt. Gods of Egypt is a great time. It's fun.
I've been meaning to watch that.
You should. It's me and Danny's like genuinely just one of our favorite films. It was whatever year it came out. It was our favorite movie of that year. I think it was the same year Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out.
That was only like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2014. But no, it's a good time. It's really stupid. The CGI's bad. There's so bad. There are good elements in there. There's scenes that remind me of like Halo. It's funny. There's some like genuinely cute moments. It's super accurate to Egyptian mythology, and it expects you to know everything about it going in, and it doesn't explain things. So they get to this point where, like, I think it's I can't remember his name. Anubis? No, not Anubis. It's one of the gods. the protagonist god, he's lost one of his eyes. He needs to go and see his grandfather. So he turns into a giant gold eagle man and flies up to this boat, flying around through space, who's killing this, who's defending the world from this giant fog monster who has teeth. And if he doesn't stop him, then he's going to eat the world. And also the world is flat, and he tows the sun around the world. And it's like, I remember seeing it like, what the fuck? And it was like, after the film ended, like, me and Danny are like, yeah, that's just Egyptian mythology. They don't explain it, they just expect you to know it. It's great.
They just show it all.
Gerald Butler gives, like, the worst performance of his career, and it's great.
Gerald Storm?
Yeah, Gerald Storm. Yeah, great comic character Gerald Storm. From the movie Gerald Storm that you are yet to write us.
Yeah, I need to get on that soon.
It's part of the Wasting Time cinematic universe. I anticipate your Tom Radar movie scripts. The last one I've got on my list, Jurassic Park 3.
I watched that once on Cartoon Network, maybe.
Why was it on Cartoon Network? It's not a cartoon.
They had this period where, like, they just... Do you guys have Cartoon Network in Scotland?
Of course we do.
Okay, they like had this... Do you remember that period where, like, they just kept showing, like, PG-13 action movies?
No, a Cartoon Network in Britain only shows cartoons.
They had, like, this weird period where they would just I think it was every Sunday night, they would just wind down the week with, like, Jurassic Park or, like, Men in Black or some, like...
Why are they showing, like, live action stuff on Cartoon Network? Like, here, the only thing they show is Teen Titans Go.
I don't know what they do anymore. Like, this was probably 10 years ago or something, but...
So you don't remember Jurassic Park 3, then?
I just remember the part where someone, like, sculpted out the raptor's, like, nasal passage or something and blew into it, and he's like, don't do that.
Yeah! And he blows in it, goes like... And then it attracts the raptors.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3 is the second best Jurassic Park movie.
I can't contest that. I've seen the first one, and...
Have you seen The Lost World?
I watched that a really long time ago, but I don't remember much of it.
The Lost World, the last 10 minutes with the T-Rex in San Diego is amazing. But everything else in that movie is terrible and stupid, and I think it's one of the worst Steven Spielberg movies. It was a surprise to me when I found out he made that one. The effects are good, but that's about it. Jurassic World, I hate with a passion.
Yeah, I didn't care for it too much.
I like the scene at the end where the T-Rex fights the Indominus Rex and teams up with a raptor, because that's so fucking stupid.
And the raptor, like, sprints in.
Yeah. And then they give each other, like, a nod of mutual respect, and then they, like, just go their separate ways. And the trailer for Fallen Kingdom just looks terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if we're even gonna subject ourselves
to
that
I'm
one.
more excited for that than Jurassic World, because at least it's like, hey, dinosaurs running away from a volcano for 2 hours.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That's something new, at least.
Yeah.
I would have preferred the dinosaur-human hybrids they've been talking about for years, but whatever, this is something.
Yeah,
but
might be too grotesque for kids.
Maybe. But the Jurassic Park 3, it's this weird movie where it's like Steven Spielberg wanted to make it, but then he didn't have time or something, so he gave it to this guy. There was a producer, I think, on the other ones, or he was the apprentice of Stan Winston, so he was like an effects guy.
Oh.
So he was really good at effects, and the effects in that movie are pretty damn good. And my favorite part about, like, it's 90 minutes. It's really well paced. It's short. It's to the point. I don't like. It's like Sam Neill's character. I can't remember what his name is. And the girl from Jurassic Park 1's there, but they've divorced and they have a kid. But he only sees the kid on weekends, and it's like, oh, that's not what we wanted from the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But then, like, they go to the second island, and there's a cool fight with a Spinosaur, and there are raptors, and there's pterodactyls, and then there's a stupid bit where, like, this guy, like, sacrifices himself, and then you assume he gets eaten by pterodactyls, and then in the end they leave the islands and helicopters show up, and then the guy shows up on, like, a stretcher in the helicopter, and he's like, oh, you made it out alive. He's like, yep. It's like, how? How did you make it out alive? We saw you get eaten alive by dinosaurs. How did you make it to the helicopters before us? That makes no sense.
I love how all these movies are like big studio productions too.
Well,
like, are there any, like, I guess B movies are all kind of so bad they're good.
Yeah, well, no, not all of them. Some of them are just atrocious. Like, the one I go to for being so bad it's bad is like the Incredible Bulk. Or The Amazing Bulk, where it's just like, it's so cynical and cheap and horrible. But then, like,
never even heard of it.
But then you got like The Room and Birdemic. They're all great films just because they're baffling. But like, I think this was just our list of like big studios. They keep trying to make successful
Sometimes they
crap.
can meddle so much it turns out good.
Yeah,
just not in the way they wanted.
Yeah, like I think most of the movies,
like Pacific Rim 2 Uprising.
No, that's bad. That's genuinely bad.
I won't deny that.
So that was our lists of movies that we liked and movies that we don't like. If you want to hear more of Max, check out his channel. Don't watch his Pacific Rim 2 review though, because he's wrong.
Well, Toby shits on it quite a bit.
If you want to hear Toby argue with Max, then check out that. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm gonna listen to it whenever. But yeah, show Max some love. He made the Jar Jar script. He's great. We got another script that you wrote. What was it you called it? Sith.
Sith happens.
Yeah. I read it. It's good. It makes me sad that my computer's fucked because I really wanted to animate that, but I don't even know if I'd be able to in Jedi Academy. But I'll have to do something for it. Yeah.
I kind of just wrote it, imagining you guys would just read it.
Well, I'm hoping that maybe we can get someone on the Discord that's willing to like do some storyboards for like color storyboards, and then I'll get Daniel, the voice actor, to do something for it. But me and Daniel will probably read that out on the podcast pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to both our channels. Thanks for listening. Anything else you want to say?
And thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. You gotta have me on your show at some point.
Yeah, if we can get our, we'll have to figure out how to we can do this or figure out some way to do like a.
Well, we're trying to figure out something where we were hoping to have you
4 people.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We were hoping to have you and Toby on the podcast, but I don't know how we do that. I guess we just have to. You would record, and then we would record, and then we'd talk over Discord. But
maybe
that would be really weird.
Yeah,
because we'd both have like mixers, and we'd hear all of us, and we'd have to make. Yeah. We'd have to be like, I would talk, and then you would talk, and then Danny would talk, and then Toby would talk.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
So long.
Go fuck yourself.